Some characters disappear when the book closes. Others seem to follow us home. Welcome to Story Worlds from J.L. Collins Publishing, the podcast where every book opens a door. I'm Lori Collins. Today we're looking at one of the strangest and most wonderful things a story can do. Create a person who never lived, then make us miss them as if they did. Before we begin, a quick note about how this show is made. This episode was produced with AI-assisted tools, including an authorized digital version of my voice. The ideas, direction, and final approval come from J.L. Collins Publishing. Think of a character you still remember years after meeting them on the page. You may not recall every turn in the plot. You may have forgotten the color of the room or the exact words they spoke. But you remember how it felt when they made a choice you hoped they would make, or the choice you were afraid they would make? That is our first clue. Memorable characters are not simply collections of facts. We remember them because they leave an emotional imprint. An author can tell us a character's age, appearance, occupation, hometown, and favorite drink. Those details may help us see the person. But facts alone do not make us care. We begin to care when the character wants something, fears something, hides something, and has something meaningful to lose. So a character becomes memorable when we understand what they want. Wanting gives a character direction. It creates motion. A detective wants the truth. A lonely person wants connection. An ambitious person wants power or recognition. Someone in danger wants to survive. Someone carrying guilt may want forgiveness, even if they cannot admit it. But the most interesting desire is rarely simple. A person may want love and still push people away. They may want safety and keep walking toward danger. They may want the truth, then hesitate when the truth threatens the life they have built. That contradiction is not a flaw in the writing. It is often the beginning of humanity. Real people are full of competing needs, and believable characters are too. Courage can live beside fear. Kindness can coexist with anger. Confidence can cover a deep uncertainty. A person can make the wrong decision for a reason that feels completely right to them. When a character contains those tensions, we cannot reduce them to one label. We keep watching because we are still trying to understand them. The second clue is choice. A character becomes clear when pressure removes the easy options. What do they protect when protecting it costs them? What truth do they tell when silence would be safer? Who do they become when no one is watching? Plot creates the pressure, but choice reveals the person. That is why one decision can stay in a reader's memory longer than 10 pages of description. The choice gathers everything together: desire, fear, values, history, and consequence. And sometimes we remember the choice because we would have made a different one. Exactly. We do not have to approve of a character to be fascinated by them. We may argue with them, distrust them, or watch in horror as they cross a line. What matters is that the choice feels connected to the person the story has shown us. A villain can be unforgettable when we recognize the logic beneath the danger. A hero can become flat when every decision is correct and costs nothing. Moral perfection is less compelling than a person forced to decide which part of themselves will lead. The third clue is relationship. Characters become three-dimensional when different people bring out different parts of them. Someone may be guarded with a stranger, playful with a friend, impatient with a sibling, and unexpectedly gentle with the one person who sees through the performance. Relationships create contrast. They reveal old wounds, loyalties, habits, rivalries, and private languages. They also raise the stakes because a choice is no longer happening in isolation. It can protect, betray, disappoint, or transform someone else. This is true across genres. Romance asks whether two people can risk being known. Mystery tests whom a character can trust. Suspense places loyalty under pressure. Fantasy may give a character extraordinary power, but relationships determine how that power is used. Humor often comes from the gap between who someone believes they are and how everyone around them sees them. The costumes change, the human questions remain. The fourth clue is specificity. Memorable characters often carry a few precise details that feel entirely their own. Not a long inventory, just the right details. A particular rhythm of speech. A habit used to hide discomfort. The object they always carry. The joke they make when the room becomes too serious. Specificity gives the imagination something to hold. It also suggests a life beyond the immediate scene. We sense that this person existed before page 1 and will continue somehow after the final chapter. But a memorable detail works best when it connects to meaning. The worn photograph matters because of who is missing from it. The locked drawer matters because the character refuses to explain it. The joke matters because laughter is how they keep grief at a distance. Detail becomes character when it carries a little piece of the story. The fifth clue is change, or the refusal to change. Stories ask characters to cross some kind of threshold. By the end, they may become braver, softer, wiser, more honest, or more dangerous. Sometimes the tragedy is that they are offered a chance to change and cannot take it. Either way, the journey matters because we remember the distance between who they were and who they became. A satisfying transformation does not erase the original person. It grows from them. The cautious character may act bravely but still feel fear. The guarded character may choose trust without becoming instantly open. Change feels earned when the old struggle remains visible inside the new choice. Maybe that is why fictional people can feel so real. We do not meet them finished, we meet them in motion, and readers help complete that motion. We bring our own experiences to every character. One reader recognizes the fear beneath the anger. Another notices the loneliness beneath the charm. One forgives a mistake, another cannot. The words on the page are shared, but the relationship each reader builds with a character is personal. That is why a character can stay with us long after the details of the plot begin to fade. Somewhere in their struggle, we recognized a question of our own. At J.L. Collins Publishing, our books move through romance, mystery, suspense, fantasy, the supernatural, humor, and stories with heart. The settings and stakes may be very different, but every genre depends on characters who give the reader a reason to continue. A secret matters because of who is keeping it. A danger matters because of who may be lost. A love story matters because two particular people must decide whether they can risk choosing each other. A magical world matters because someone must live with the price of its magic. The character turns an interesting situation into an experience we can feel. So here is a question to carry into your week. Which fictional character has stayed with you the longest, and what do you truly remember about them? Is it something they wanted, a contradiction you understood, a choice you admired or hated, a relationship that changed them, a small detail that made them feel alive? Your answer may tell you something not only about the character, but about the kinds of stories that speak most strongly to you. In our next episode, we'll explore how to choose your next read by mood, not only by genre. We'll look at whether you want comfort, tension, wonder, laughter, romance, or the delicious feeling that something is not quite right. Follow Story Worlds from J.L. Collins Publishing on your favorite podcast platform and subscribe on YouTube. You can also visit jlcollinspublishing.com to discover books, authors, and your next world to enter. Every book opens a door. Which character will walk through with you? Until next time, happy reading.